Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon everyone. How are you today? I hope you are doing well. Considering we are still in the pandemic situation, so do not forget to always stay healthy and keep a protocol of health so that can we stay safe from the COVID-19. From this time, let me introduce myself. My name is Taufik Yudha Prasetyo. I'm from 40BIB. Today Today I will explain material about the importance of moral education. Maybe some of you are wondering why this is so important. Moral development of children had been researched as means of moral education and character education in particular. However, there are several studies which revealed that most of these traditional efforts did not have a significant effect on attitudes and behaviors. On the effects of widely recognized best teaching practice that emphasize classroom community, intellectual autonomy of students, and high-level academic teaching. Moral and social development has supported that in addition to obtaining social standards or noble habits, moral education should consider the construction of moral and social judgment of students. This also indicates that moral concern for justice and human welfare has been formed from an early age to focus on moral education. Other studies also show that moral development does not lead to the endpoint, non-moral consideration and overheld by moral principles. Therefore, moral education varied approach to prepare students in dealing with moral complexity by considering personal behavior and efforts to create a fair and compassionate community. That's the first explanation. Go to the next explanation. For the first explanation is the development discipline of moral education. Moral education working in a cognitive, developmental, or social constructive paradigm face many more barriers to implementing their programs in public school. From the perspective of this educator, the mainstream views of education as the transmission of knowledge, of learning as passive acceptance, and of classroom management and discipline as behavioral control were wholly unacceptable. Drawing from the theory, cognitive developmentalists argued that autonomy, not obedience, and understanding, not remembering, are the proper aims of education. Constructivist educators also hold a more positive view of children. Children are seen as being in the process of development and naturally predisposed toward cooperation and learning insofar as their level of developmental allows. The negative of children as self-interested and work avoidant, and the strong emphasis on adult control of children's behavior characteristic of public school education lead educators applying developmental constructivist principles to seek alternative approach to teaching, classroom management, and the discipline. Next point is involve forming caring teacher and student relationship. A caring relationship requires not only that the caregiver be reasonably successful in meeting the legitimate needs of the one cared for, but also that the one cared for perceive the caring intent of the caregiver. Developmental discipline places more emphasis on building relationship that than on controlling students. For example, it stresses the importance of developing a view of children as wanting to learn and wanting to have a mutually caring relationship, but often needing help in doing so. It also stresses the importance of teachers getting to know its students personally, of really listening to them and helping students see that they like them. Doing nice things for students, seriously engaging their issues and concerns, sharing one's own experience and stories, and bringing fun and humor into the classroom are some of the ways that teachers help students to see that they really care about them. Teachers teachers also need to be able also to be meet children's basic and for the friendships, autonomy and competence. They need to create a moral community that fosters children's positive peer relationship, provides reasonable opportunities for autonomy and voice, and honors their need for competence. And the last point is building a caring, just democratic learning community. Studies of human support the premise that to flourish human children included need to experience not only a sense of belonging, that they are loved and respected, but also a sense of competence, that they are capable and seen as capable by others, and a sense of autonomy, that their actions are consistent with what they want to do or believe what they should do. For a more detailed discussion of studies of students' needs, consistent with this, studies of family environment found that morally mature children were more likely to experience democratic home environments characterized by children having opportunities to influence decisions, to freedom to the freedom to assume some responsibility for their own behavior, and opportunities to take responsibility for maintaining to the environment. So that was the key point of the importance of moral education. For the conclusion is, in developmental discipline, the source of power comes from the trusting and mutually caring relationship between the teachers and the student. The student's intrinsic desire to learn and form caring relationship with the developmental discipline, and its focus on building relationship, establishing shared norms and goals, discussion, and mutual problem solving. A well-functioning classroom will take longer to establish. In a climate of extreme pressure for rapid academic learning, teachers may find difficult to devote the needed time. Effective moral or character education requires that they do so. So that's all my explanation. I apologize if there are some mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.